Hi, I thought I would show how I made these cards by inking on top of the embossing. I used the Spellbinder's So Trendy embossing folder, and it has chevrons and hexagons on it, and it gives a really great impression. This is one of the ones that it has one design on one side and another design on the other side, obviously. But I thought it was really good for younger cards or for masculine cards. And I was just going to show you how I put that together really quickly. First of all, I started out with a sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper, and I cut it down to 5.5 by 8.5. Folded it in half, and then I inked my edges just by going in with the blending tool and catching the edge. I always put liners on the inside of my cards to make them a little sturdier, and I ink the edges of those too most of the time. Then I have this panel, which will be the colored panel. A lot of times I'll cut everything out of white cardstock and just ink it because it's easier than trying to find matches for the pattern paper. And I'm using peacock feathers distress ink. And just get some ink on the blending tool and start off on the craft mat and blend that in. And I'm just wanting the edges. Most of this gets covered up, but I want the color on the edges. And you just kind of make circular motions. And once you get started, you can kind of go back and forth. Just like that. Sometimes I like to go back over the edge and just make it a little bit darker. It gives it a little more finished look, I think. Now I'm going to take the part that I've already embossed. This is a panel that I cut down and embossed. On one side, let's see if you can see that, if I ink this side, I'll get the raised parts darker, and this side would give me a different type of pattern. And what I meant by that was, like on the chevron, this side I inked the side that had the little zigzag and the circles, dots. And this side, I just inked the opposite side, and I caught all the little chevrons with the dots being white in the middle, if that makes sense. So that was like the emboss and the deboss, or one side and the other side. So I'm going to go with this side. I'm going to take the distress ink and go direct to paper. I'm just going to set it flat down on the paper and rub it across. And you want to do this on top of your craft mat so you don't make a mess of everything. And just get a really cool effect. So, and if you ink that first, you can pick up what got left off on your craft mat to ink your other things. I've gone ahead and inked the chevron piece, and then I stamped in the smaller chevron. Whoops. Like that. I'm sorry, the hexagon. Here's the other chevron piece and the white piece that goes in it. Let me show you how the card comes together real quick. Let me move this out of the way, because if I don't, I'll get ink on the wrong thing. Oops. I have my card base. I'm going to put tape on this panel. going to line that up. Like so. This actually had a face. And then I could put tape on this, but because that's a rough surface you've got on there, I think that a wet glue works better because it can get down in the little crevices and give you a better hold. But tape does work. And I'll just line this up. Normally I would have inked the edges of this too, just to get a darker edge, but I forgot, so there we go. And I will just attach this piece, that piece, and this piece. Get it straight. And they'll look more like these cards. Oops, one more thing. On this one I just glued the hexagon flat, but on these I raised it up with a little foam. So, thought I'd mention that. And I will have the pattern for these zigzag chevrons and the hexagons as cut files on my blog for free. And I'll also have a PDF pattern that you could print out and cut by hand if you wanted to. But there's my finished card. They come together really easily and quickly, and I think they make good cards to have on hand just for give out as you need them. Oh, one more thing. Because I used a clear acrylic stamp to type this and I was using Distress ink, the sentiment did not come out really evenly. There were like little dots in it, if that makes sense. So I just went over it with a distress marker, and I don't have the peacock feathers in a distress marker, but I did use use broken china, and it worked just as well because I was going on top of the peacock feathers that I had already stamped. So just a hint. Thanks for watching. Bye.